Hello, ho, ho, and welcome to A Review for Christmas. My name is Chelsea.
And I'm Ariel.
And today we are at Season 4, Episode 11, the penultimate episode of the season.
Nice.
And we are covering Lifetime.
Yes.
Lifetimes.
Lifetimes.
I was going to say Lifetime Pictures, but I was like, no. We're covering Lifetime's Christmas in the Spotlight. This movie is based off of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, or inspired by, paying homage to.
So that was my first big question. As we go down the winding hole that is their relationship.
Good question.
Is this actual real lore? What happens? Or do they talk about puzzling and things like that?
I mean, we have no way to know.
Well, I don't know how open Taylor is. I don't know if she's TikToking about the puzzles.
She's not.
She's not puzzle talking.
I would say most of Taylor Swift's relationships, despite like us knowing who they were with, we know very little about the details, unless she's written a song about them.
Okay.
And even then, the songs can be left for speculation. However, I do have areas where it is lore accurate and not lore accurate.
Yes.
Both the lore of their actual lives and the lore of their romance.
Yes.
So don't you worry. The Glockenspiel is here for the lore and the song references. When you hear this, you will know that I'm about to lay some truth down on the table.
I wrote in here like, is this real, Chelsea? Is this a line, Chelsea? Is this a?
I'm excited. That's what the commentary is for.
I do have one thing that I want to bring up. I have a corrections corner.
Oh, I want to bring this up too. I want to talk about this too.
Yeah. So because I hosted the episode, let me give the beginning. You guys may have watched in the Round and Round episode. Me and Chelsea had a few technical difficulty moments. Well, they were too. She hasn't watched the episode.
I'm just doing it for the audience.
Trying to lie to them about what happened?
Yeah.
You're trying to soothe them? Rub their bellies?
Trying to soothe them.
We're not fighting. Mommy and Daddy aren't fighting.
Mom and Dad are fine. Mom and Mom are okay.
Mom and Mom did not get, a little thrown off. It actually wasn't that bad. We handled it very well.
Wasn't bad.
But it was because Chelsea had scenes that I was not covering. And we could not figure out what was happening.
No.
Now I'm going to hand it over to Chelsea because we did figure out what happened.
We did.
And it was a big deal.
And that's why I actually, and I was thinking about this, and I'm glad you brought it up because I had an entire spiel that I then was forgetting in my excitement of the lore. Not Corrections Corner, it's Beef with Hallmark Corner, okay?
Absolutely.
We were correct in everything we did. We've made no mistakes ever in life. Okay, Court Overstreet, leave me alone. Stop DMing me.
Start DMing us.
Yeah, please.
Please.
I watched Round and Round when it premiered, essentially. And there are scenes in it that do not exist in whatever version we have in the 2023. And I felt crazy.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when we go off camera in that episode, Chelsea's like, Ariel, what about this scene? What do you mean? No, it happens. And I'm like, well, describe it to me. And she's like, I don't know how to describe the scene to you. And I'm like, well, I don't have it. And I sat there while I was editing this episode. And I'm like, I want to make sure when she brings this up, I can put in clips because I missed it. I scrolled through my DVR recording of this episode 3 whole times by hand with the arrow key, just waiting. And it never happened. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what. I remember I texted you and I was like, so where did you watch this? That could be the only way.
And I feel gaslit.
Yes.
Is the best word to describe it technically. So what I ended up doing was going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I was like, I'm creative. I'm not creative enough to invent an entire scene.
Oh, yeah. False memories of 2 whole scenes.
There's no way. There's no way. So I ended up finding, which I don't know if it's a podcast or a video that they like transcribed, or if it's an article.
Whoa, Glockenspiel.
Glockenspiel. Or if it's an article that they just do in an interview format. But it was called like The Queer Review. I don't know their names, sorry. Never heard of them before. But
if I can find them, they'll be on the screen right now.
They made me feel very sane, so we're very grateful. And they talked about the movie, and they put in stills. And so there is a still of the cousin when she actually has the manuscript and Rachel's mad about it instead of being the one who gave it to her. It's an entirely different location. Different location in the freaking house. So I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no.
They have another scene where the dad is laying on her bed in a gray sweater, and that's the scene where I kept saying, no, the dad talks to her, the dad talks to her. And you were like, not yet, shut up. And I was like, I'm not crazy. And then what really sealed the deal where I knew I wasn't crazy is they go, oh, and he's going to illustrate her book, which does not come up in our edit.
Yeah.
But a prime plot of the original release is that she can't take feedback. And is scared to pursue her dream of being a novelist. That's like literally.
Well, you know what's funny? So I
don't think it hurts
I have two
too much.
comments on it. Number one, I am upset a little bit that they took it out because, and I didn't take this out of their plot points, and I was going to, but the cousin walks up at the end and she's like, you forgot, she's like, I read your manuscript, it's great. And I just went, where does this come from?
Thank you.
I'm like, how does she have the manuscript? Like, I was going to complain about that, and I guess we were just blessed and not stressed because it was like, I forgot completely, and we would have bickered. You would have been like, it's in the scene I'm talking about.
Right.
So, we skipped that. But I was saying, I don't think it's a bad movie without those bits.
It's
that was
not.
probably the only thing that I think I was like, what happened?
I think we lose a little bit of the romance because he draws the heroine as her.
I know, but it didn't lose anything for me. I still gave it a 10.
Of course, but I because I had that in my head.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, well, that happens. It's in my notes, and so it didn't occur to me. But also, one of the conflicts is he gives it to her cousin, and she's pissed.
Oh.
And that's like one of the reasons they fight. Oh. In one of their like loops, and so. Losing that, like him being the one, like I believe in you. But I also wonder if they wanted to make it she believes in herself, which is why she gives the manuscript. I think there's merit to both. It's still my ratings don't change.
Yeah, it feels like director's cut and then
but
a radio edit.
I posted. I'm actually in a Facebook group called Hallmark Arenos.
Yeah,
shout out Hallmark Arenos. One of you might listen. I've posted the podcast before, but I was like, hey sleuths. I need help. And no one was actually able to confirm anything, but someone did post a TikTok that I haven't watched yet of a girl who reviewed it.
Okay.
And so I might watch that and see if she says anything.
Okay.
But finding that article by the Queer Review really
helped. Yeah, you're going to have to send that to me so I can put in the stills.
We'll put it in we'll link to it in the comments.
Oh my gosh, if we remember to throw anything in the comments.
Yeah.
That's your job.
I can do it in the description.
I was going to say, it's your job.
Okay. But
so yeah, I wanted to cover that because and Chelsea,
it got weird.
We were. I was really proud of how well you were able to like jump back in, but like it reminded me of your experience. Reminded me of this one period of my life. I was living with one of my exes, and he came up to me one morning and he's like, "Hey, if you open the window in the middle of the night, can you close it?" And I'm like, gibberish, what are you talking about?
Lies
and he's like, Ariel, you opened the window in the middle of the night. I'm like, I did not open the window in the middle of the night. Thank you. Because our bed was against the window. And another night I wake up, the window's open again. And I'm like, he's gaslighting me. I'm like, my boyfriend is making me crazy. And then I wake up, one night, I realize I'm like waking up half awake, opening the window because I'm hot, and then going back to sleep, but because
he was doing it.
He's not doing it. It was me doing it.
But didn't know he was doing it, yeah.
But it was me. But so I know that feeling of something's happening and I think I'm the crazy one and I'm so sure I'm not doing this.
I mean, literally.
I was, but
when you texted me, I don't remember if it was Thursday night or Friday morning. I don't remember when I did that. But I also fast forwarded section by section on your Philo. And I was like, I'm losing my mind.
It was great because you stopped Like I said something, but you didn't respond. And I sat there for a little bit and I went, why isn't she responding? Does she hate me? And I went, no, Ariel, she's watching the movie.
Yep.
I'm like, she's going through the movie to find out.
Yep.
And then you snap me and you're like, this movie is so much better than this version. This is stupid.
I'm over that
so
now.
Angry.
I was so angry.
I was like, yes, honey. I'm like, I think it's still okay.
Mom and mom are fighting, but not.
But we handled it well.
But anyway, thank you for indulging us in that because I did want to bring it up and I'm glad you didn't forget because I fully did.
I thought you might, so I put it at the top of my script.
You're lovely.
And I don't think we'll fight. We might fight a little bit on this one.
I don't think we're going to fight.
I think you're going to think I'm being mean.
That could happen.
I think you're going to say you're making a big deal out of nothing, and to which I say, it's my right as a viewer. Yeah. Have you met me?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know me? Chelsea spent the first 2 to 3 seasons saying, you're allowed to have your opinions on your show. And now she's like, you're a little much.
Swallow them. Okay, so.
Let's get into the movie.
Let's get into the movie. Christmas in the Spotlight is based or paying homage or what have you to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That being said, Hallmark also made a movie called Holiday Touchdown. Yep. We didn't cover that one specifically because it is entirely different. It's a Chiefs super fan who meets their social media manager and they fall in love. I'm sure it's fine. Tyler Hines, he's fine. The girl, she looks pretty.
She's that one with the eyes, uglies.
Joey King's sister.
She's Joey King's sister. That's all I know.
You're calling her ugly?
Well, she's an uggo.
Disgusting. Yes, I can't remember her first name, but yes, she is Joey King's sister. So that one is Chiefs focused, whereas this one is actually a pop star and a football player.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it might have references. I think next season I
think we start with it.
Yeah, and then compare and contrast.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do it this season, but I felt like there was a movie more pressing that we were to cover, and it's your movie next.
It is the most pressing movie of the season.
Yeah.
It's the reason for the season.
It's going to be an amazing finale. Cannot wait. So, our pop star. Her name is Bowyn Sykes.
Bowyn.
I don't love the name.
You don't love the name Bowyn Sykes?
It's grown on me. I know.
Bowyn Sykes doesn't do
I know why they did it. I know. I get it.
That was weak though.
Oh my God. I also just don't like the BS.
You know what's really funny?
What?
It's interesting that they chose the name Bowyn Sykes because if they were doing Taylor Swift, Swifties. I was like, how would you turn psychos? Like,
oh boy.
And they were like, well, we can't do that. We'll go a different direction.
And I don't mind the name Bowyn.
It's cute.
It's cute. She's played by Jessica Lord, who is stunning.
She walks out from the gala thing that she went to.
That green dress.
And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was like, do you get filler? Like,
I think her lips are pillowy perfect.
Yeah,
it has to be filler.
But that was more like a reference of your face
Can I have it?
Lovely.
Yeah. She is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so she's our little pop star.
Well cast.
And then Drew Gonzo, Gonville, is played by Laith Wallschleger.
That's a name.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. Laith is a great name.
Oh, it is. It's very modern.
It's so modern. Also, his IMDb photo, if Ariel remembers to put it up, terrifying. He kind of looks like Superman or something, or like a villain in Superman. It's all in shadow and it's all
more
arms.
Like a Bane kind of.
Yeah.
Because Superman's a little. That was more of a horn noise, but with the mouth covering, I knew you were going for Bane.
And Tom Hardy's weird accent in that.
I know last season we did some. Oh, we did Bane with the Royal Christmas Crush. We did Bane.
How many times are we going to make the same references to things?
You know what? It keeps us consistent. It lets the audience stay
We're
in with
circling
us.
back.
Exactly.
We're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't listen to me. Those are the only two I was going to cover. Do you want to? Oh, I guess I can cover one other person. Just because she is TikTok famous.
Oh.
We're going to ignore
her controversy.
The controversy. It's in the past. It's whatever. Celebrities aren't people.
Yeah, thank you. Celebrities are not people.
Haley Khalil, I don't know, Kalil.
Khalil.
Interesting that she kept that last name when she's divorced, but whatever. Plays Nicole Gonville, which is Rob Gonville's wife, and that's, sister-in-law. But she's when she popped up, it actually took me out of it for a second because I know her from her TikTok videos of being a stay-at-home billionaire's girlfriend, and they're very funny.
That's funny.
And borderline demeaning, but that's the point.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so she threw me off for a second, but actually I quite liked her. I liked everybody.
I thought everyone. There was only one person I didn't love.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about
when we get there.
later.
If we're not here, if it's not our two leads,
no,
great.
No. Yeah, no.
So we open on a Christmas pop song, and yeah.
Did you love this song?
It was okay.
Yeah, okay.
I would say all the songs were okay. None of them were objectively bad.
Yeah.
But none of the music was like, whoa, this is great. But
yeah.
They were just, I mean, for movies or songs that Lifetime writers wrote for a movie, like.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So the first thing, and this isn't a glockenspiel. We're not at the glockenspiel moment, in my opinion. But the background of this song was giving Lavender Haze with the clouds and the moon and all that stuff. So the song is all about feeling good about being alone for Christmas. Not just being alone for Christmas, but feeling good about it. I'm happy, this is fine, no big deal. And then she's performing, she yells cut, which I think is a reference to how Taylor Swift does a lot of her own directing. And
thank you, because I was like,
yeah.
Is she allowed to do that?
Well,
no, that I needed the context, because I was like, don't all these things have directors? And she's like, we're done. And I'm like,
yeah. Well, what? So she goes, want to take 5? They never go back to filming. They're done. They're just done for the day. She puts on comfy shoes. We meet her manager, Mira Vu. And Mira's like, are you sure you want this to be the single? It's kind of a downer. I didn't think it sounded like a downer at all.
I didn't think it sounded like a downer in any way.
Right.
Like, it was just like, I love me.
I love myself. I'm going to love myself. And she declares that she's done with dating.
Which means she's going to find somebody.
Yeah. And her manager's like, your career is fine, but then tells her pre-sales are down. So I was like, okay. But she says, I do this for the fans, not for money. Look, Taylor Swift, I love you. This is not lore accurate. Someone who's not interested in money doesn't release 7 versions of the same album for $35 a piece. Do I own 5 of the 7? Sure. Yes. But don't act. Well, I guess it's not her. This isn't her. But anyone writing about Taylor Allison Swift, do not act like our capitalist Barbie isn't doing things for money and fame.
Bless you.
Okay? Not lore accurate.
I think it's really great because it's a very big part of her character. Yep. And you make a great point. I've always said, I'm like, if there's one thing you can't fault Taylor on, it's her marketing department. Absolutely. She is amazing at sales.
Powerhouse.
Her sales are nuts.
Absolutely.
And she was the reason I started researching how you get, albums go platinum now based on streams, and then they go, if you sell a CD or a record, you get a certain amount. And I was like, genius. This chick she has people buying CDs that they're not even gonna listen to because no one plays CDs.
So when she released her book and the anthology CD and vinyl for Black Friday, they were out of the vinyl, which was the only one I wanted. I got the book, but I had the CD in my hand, like, do I buy this? And I said to Kyle, I was like, do I buy this? And he was like, I was like, it's your money. It's up to you, ultimately. But I looked at it and I went, the only place I can play this is your car, which I already have the Bluetooth hookup to and can just play it from my phone. And I put it down.
Good girl.
I know, I was very proud of myself. And then I ordered the vinyl the minute I could, because that cover is stunning. But the other thing I will say is the day after her tour ended, she was in Kansas City visiting sick kids in a hospital and taking TikToks with them. So,
there is something.
There's something to be said that, she does give a about her fans, but, I'm not here to pretend that Miss Ma'am doesn't want that bag, okay? All right? Great. So, I don't know what she says before this, but her manager says, but it's so much more fun to be mean. Mean is a track on Taylor Swift's 3rd album, Speak Now.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We already got into it.
We did. We then find out she's going to perform at a fundraiser for the hospital where the new chief of staff is the doctor that took care of her father as he was dying of cancer.
Yep. Already?
Taylor Swift's parents are alive.
I am obsessed with this glockenspiel.
Not Laura accurate.
These moments are the best
Zoe, we're going to have to buy this off you.
I asked her yesterday, I'm like, are they cheap? And she's like, Yeah, Ariel, you can get, and I wrote, buying the show a glockenspiel for next season.
Yeah, like, just glockenspiel each other.
When you have a comment, instead, like hold it up and make the comment trees your thingy. That won't really work.
We'll have to put the tree on.
Trees on.
Okay, we've lost the plot, and we're only 5 minutes in. So again, they don't go back to filming the music video. No. They're done for the day. For some reason, and I think this is just for foreshadowing purposes, Bowyn picks up Mira's purse, which is a bedazzled football. She picks it up and walks away with it.
Does she?
Yeah, and then Mira grabs her jacket, which is a bomber's jacket that she's had since she was 15. This baby looks brand new. Also, like, just doesn't feel like a character choice. But it just didn't, it felt so out of character for her, which I guess, like, sometimes that is the football of it all. There were sometimes
I can get it. I have 2 problems with Mira's football interest. One of them happens now.
Okay.
The problem I have now is Mira is probably in her 30s.
Yes.
I just don't believe that she's not in her 30s.
Yeah.
She's been wearing the same jacket, supposedly so often that it upsets Bowyn. Bowyn says, I will buy you a new jacket. That means she wears it so consistently, Bowyn has a problem with it. And this jacket's 15 years old.
That's what I wrote.
15 years. I went, no, it's not.
That blue is so shiny.
I was like, she doesn't. Don't
lie to
find
me.
a new way. Find a new way to do it. Put on the hat or something.
Oh, a tattered hat.
You know, or like, a hat and be like, oh, it's going to ruin your hair. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's football, you know.
Here's football season, baby.
I did not notice the football purse.
She tosses it to her. And she's like, get out of here.
Some of the cheesy moments in this, there's like just like these little cringe moments that are really golden.
Yep. Rob Golden Gonville?
Oh my God. Is that his? Yes, that's his brother,
yeah.
Golden.
I actually didn't have that in there. In her song Daylight, she says she thought love would be burning red, but now it's golden like daylight.
Okay, but I don't
know if that's a reference.
This is like,
I have somewhere I'm like this. Am I reading too much into it?
What was it? Two seasons ago or last season, we had some word. And it was a haunted, and you went, that's a Taylor Swift reference. No, it's a word, Chelsea.
I know, but I feel there are other ways to say haunted. There are other ways to say golden. Anyway, they could have worked in, like when he's doing a drive, they call it a gold rush. Oh. I should have written this movie. Okay, so now we move to a football field where there are football things happening. His number is 13. That's Taylor Swift's favorite number.
Oh!
His name is Drew. It's a reference to Teardrops on My Guitar, which is a song off Debut. It's actually probably her first hit.
That has
Drew looks at me.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
This is thick.
Oh, yeah. So they're cute little football brothers. This is lore accurate.
He has a brother who plays football?
Oh, Jason Kelce. Mm-hmm.
Is he quarterback?
I don't think he is.
Okay.
Ugh. He also retired.
Well, I'll talk for a second while you look it up. I just want to say that the Laith in this scene, he said something like, it's hard or easy to be this good and this pretty, and he like dances, and I was in love with him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love this man.
Yeah. No,
I choked on my water.
So Jason Kelce was a center, and Travis Kelce is a tight end.
Those are football terms.
They are. Don't ask me what any of it means.
Nope. It means they're on the field.
Don't read my shirt. I'm not going to hit the button because they're, glockenspiel. I want the record to show that I knew who both of them were before Taylor Swift was dating them.
Look at you go.
I actually do watch some football.
Do you think, and we won't discuss this too much, but do you think knowing them before Taylor Swift came into play, do you think you may have recognized them if they were on the street? Like, if...
No.
No. Okay, just curious.
Because, like, fully knowing who they were was basically right before Taylor Swift entered it, because 2 years ago, I think, it was basically they called it, like, I don't know, it was like the Kelce Kelsey Bowl is what they referred to it as, because the Super Bowl had Jason's team versus Travis's team.
Oh.
And so their mom actually had a jersey custom made, which was half of the Eagles and half of the Chiefs.
That's awesome.
Mama Kelsey is the family's in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'd be in it. Yeah.
Yes. The lore that I guess is inaccurate about this is that they're on the same team instead of rivals, but whatever. When he says some of us have to play the field, that felt like it could be, that's like a normal phrase. That's the hard part, is like
some of this is normal
phrase.
Yeah.
But she does talk about playing the field in The Man on the Lover album, so I don't know. I don't know where Gonzo came from.
Gonzo. His last name. Gorgonzola. What's his last name?
His last name is Gonville.
Yeah, actually I thought about that.
I didn't feel like they needed to have nicknames.
Yep. I'm with you.
Because it also feels really close to Gronk, who is a football player.
That's a name?
Gronkowski. He goes by Gronk. I don't know the first name.
That's a name.
It is a name.
Sounds like one last
name. I think he
name.
sells like washing machines along with being a football player. I don't know. He's in commercials. They all are. Whatever. I'm already losing.
I picture the football player like on sales calls selling washing machines.
No, I was not clear.
I went, well, if you have a passion. He was like, I play football, but I will not give up.
But Maytag needs me right now. But he is feeling very off and is worried he won't get re-signed. There's also implications that his brother is the shining star.
Yeah, well,
he's kind of just in his brother's shadow, which is the irony is he's taller and bigger than his brother.
He's giant.
Lore accurate. Although Jason is quite big. Anyway, he tells his best friend George that he's going to a party, and George is like, during the season? And I'm like, oh gosh, oh no, party boy.
Man. Yeah.
And he's like, can I come? He's like, it's so exclusive, I don't have a +1.
These dudes are massive, by the way.
They're massive.
Good casting. I know.
It's his niece's birthday party.
So cute.
We open up in the house. He does like this popper of confetti. And I said, is the sister-in-law a TikTok star who got canceled? Yes.
Yes.
The party is Bowyn Sykes themed.
Yep.
The little girl is obsessed. She's gone full Arrowhead. Yep. Arrowhead Stadium is where the Chiefs play.
Shut up.
Her fans are called bows, or no, her fans are called arrows because she's the bow, like bow and arrows.
Oh, I thought their fans were called arrowheads. They're called arrows.
Yeah, I think they're called arrows, and then if you're an arrow, you've gone full arrow, like Swiftie versus Swifthead. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But they're called arrows.
Okay.
And I kind of think that might be a reference to The Archer, which is one of the songs that she has, and she talks about bow and arrow and prey. I think people are we're trying, I could just be making connections where it makes sense, and it might not mean anything.
I like it, though. Do as many as you can.
Rob is an ass.
Really?
He makes comments about how all she does is write songs about her boyfriends. And, yeah.
Isn't that how a lot of people who don't listen to Taylor Swift think about Taylor Swift?
We'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I figured out. My second time watching, I hated his character decidedly less once I realized what they were doing with it.
I didn't dislike. I was like, yeah, he makes a lot of sense. They were like, you're being sexist. And I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, so Gonzo rattles off a bunch of stuff about her charity work, where she donates her money, all these things. And he's like, where'd you learn all that? And he's like, your daughter. But this starts the theme of Drew's kind of like a dumb idiot, and anything he knows is just somebody told it to him. It's
really?
Like kind of, yeah, I feel like they definitely tried to make him seem like a dumb jock, and that it was something he was insecure about.
Oh, Drew. I don't know their names. Yes.
So
Drew's our main guy.
Drew is our main guy. Rob's his brother.
Yeah. That's a good point. They are trying to make him, he is self-conscious about being a big dumb idiot.
Yes. So I wrote, there's a theme, he's just a dumb jock when it's evident there's so much more to him.
So much.
He gifts his niece Bowyn Sykes concert tickets after the kids do a little performance to a song where they're not even lip syncing very well.
It's really cute, and I felt really bad for her friends who were not going to go to the concert. I was like, you could have given that to her after they left. Rude.
I know.
I would have been like, oh, okay.
Yep. I said, technically, Travis Kelce going to the concert and trying to meet Taylor Swift is lore accurate. So, like, when he goes to the concert with his niece, I don't think he went with he might have gone with his family, who knows? But when he went, he tried to give her a bracelet with his number on it, but she doesn't speak after she's off stage because she needs to save her vocal cords, and she basically goes on vocal rest. So you need to be on a VIP list if Taylor Swift will see you after her show. So he tried.
He really went there with his phone number on a bracelet.
Yep.
He was like, I'm throwing game right at her.
And he talked about it on the podcast.
Wow.
Yep. And we'll get there though, because
Okay.
I want to go in order of the lore. We find out that Bowyn is famous from a reality TV show called American Songbird. Not accurate at all.
Okay, thank you.
Ding.
Ding.
And she is like kind of scrolling through someone's TikTok live video where you can see everyone's like, another Christmas album. So it seems like Bowyn just makes Christmas songs, which was confusing. And they don't really explain that. And I decided I didn't care. And her manager is like, don't read that stuff, put it away. And she says, you know, they have this moment of like, remember when I said I was going to make you a star and you said, I'm already a star. And so you have these things, and then she says, if the sky isn't big enough for you, time to find a new stage. Could be bigger than the whole sky. I don't know. Again, I'm drawing parallels where I see them. And then we cut to the niece being a wing woman for Drew and saying, like, oh, he has a huge crush on her. He glows whenever her music's on. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, that's not her. It's my amazing skincare routine, which is a repeating joke in this as well, that he has incredible skincare.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Travis has good skincare. So if someone knows, give me
Put
the
in the
lore.
comments.
And she says, you're not a goof, you just make bad choices. Oh. Again, we have no idea what bad choices he's ever made. They don't give us any of it.
You're so correct. Also, I was like, that's bars right there.
Straight bars.
Just make bad choices.
Eileen knows what's going on.
And even later they're like, they say something about partying or something, and I'm like, when does this man do anything wrong? He's been nothing but like wholesome.
Yep, no, very wholesome. And so she does the big hit, and he's like holding his phone and screaming and losing it. Very cute.
He was really cute.
He's so
He's
cute.
really precious.
There's something very earnest about him.
Yes.
I don't think he has the same swag and charisma that Travis Kelce has.
I agree with you.
I think that is hard to find in a Hallmark film.
Yeah, I think, I feel like he could wear cheetah print overalls, but I don't know if Laith could wear cheetah print overalls.
That's a really good point.
You know?
Yes, that is actually an incredible way to put that.
Thank you.
So she's doing the meet and greet for the sick children, and he sneaks in, which I think is crazy.
Me too.
The fact that any of her security, and I mean, maybe they knew who he was, and so they did that, but like...
It makes no sense.
That is so scary.
Yeah, him sneaking backstage, I was like, okay, how?
How?
And then if it was because they recognized him, no one said anything? They were like, just
no
go
one
in.
thought to give Bowyn
Just
a heads
go
up.
along, it's fine.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, are you guys also at the hospital? And he's like, no. And he's like stuttering. He goes, I'm a bomber.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was so good. And she was like, he's like, not that I have a bomb. Like, I play for the Bombers. Like, and Eileen's like, ignore my uncle. He gets hit in the head for a living.
Very funny.
Very funny. And he's really nervous in a way that, again, very endearing. Like, I just felt myself...
Though I thought, I was like, let's take this interaction between them of him, you know, wanting to take a selfie with her and asking, like, can he put his arm around her? I was like, take it out of the movie, put it in real life. I'm like, she probably experiences this all the time. You're even more beautiful in person. I was like, this is very just like dudes. Like, you know, like this was a very normal person, and it would be much less romantic in person, I think.
I do liked that he was like, is it okay if I do this? And she was like, thanks for asking. Like, I liked that interaction. Like, I feel like it's not something we see on television very often, but it is very normal.
I would say that is one thing about them and this movie, in him specifically, he's so normal. So normal. Like, he's not even like TV to me. Like, when he talks, I feel like I'm watching a real person going through this. Yeah. Which is very interesting. But he's in love with her, man. Yeah. But so she takes a picture with his niece, and then his niece is like, oh, you should take a selfie. And he drops the phone, fumbling the bag. Hand in the bag. Remember when I said that? Oh, did you say that? Like, the one where you were like, I'll cut it. And I was like, leave it in. I want to know what I said. It still made no sense. So right as he's about to take the picture, Mira is like, Bowyn, and she turns, and we don't see the photo. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't think she's in the photo. Like, I think the photo's going to be like, it's all blurred. The back of your head is ridiculous. And then Mira going, who is that? Thank you.
Flag on the play.
Flag, what in the... You wear the same jacket from age 15 and his baseball cap throws you off so you don't know who he is? Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Excuse me? I was so upset. All caps and bold. I went, are you kidding me?
Yep.
She doesn't know who he is. And then later, just throwing it in, she rattles off all of his accomplishments off the top of her head.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, exactly. We should have had footballs.
Just throw them back and forth when you've got something to say. Go long. Touchdown. So we've expanded, or not expanded, we've hit my limit of sports knowledge, I think, at this point. First down.
4. Golf.
Spicy. So now we're at the team gym. And George is like, man, I heard you fumbled it with Bowyn. He goes, I didn't fumble. I wasn't even trying to score. Don't worry, we're going to get a little bit more football punny language as it goes on. They tried, I think they did an okay amount of getting Taylor Swift songs and football references
they needed
into
to keep
the
both
everyday
people happy
dialogue.
because somehow someone who watches football, probably the boyfriends of
The Chads.
the girls who watch this for Taylor, were like, oh, football. That's the point.
He says, invite her to a game. Let her see you do your thing. This is where the lore accuracy comes into play.
Okay.
He didn't get to give her the bracelet. On his podcast with his brother, he says, I brought a bracelet with my number, went to shoot my shot, didn't work out. They're very strict about who they'll let in. And he goes, but if you ever want to see me rock Arrowhead, because she had played at Arrowhead. He said, if you want to see me rock Arrowhead, come by.
Oh, wow.
He basically was like, I saw you rock, come see me rock.
Rock
And so
it
that's
out.
the thing, again, there's swagger that Kelsey has.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's bold.
It's bold.
That's hot. That's bold.
Yeah. And so then I was like, well, did he post it? Like, I had so many questions, like, was the picture blurry? Did he post the picture? And then I also really loved his friend George.
Oh.
George is handsome.
He's very handsome.
They just, everyone, I was like, what? Every person was somehow the most beautiful
giant.
person I saw. Well,
also
they better be.
They're all I know. Good casting.
Yeah, I felt like they were a football team.
Casting. Why did I say it?
Casting?
Yes, I felt like they were a football team. I also enjoyed that George was using a TRX, my favorite workout device.
Get those arms. So now she's at dinner with Mira. Yeah.
I have here that he posts it and says,
Yes,
like, thanks
he
for an
does post.
amazing show.
Yes, that's
Can I just throw in something?
Yeah.
Okay, so he posts it and he says, thanks for the amazing show. Come watch a game. The beer is on me. And I went, he's the most bro-y bro-town good guy to ever bro. Like, the beer's on me.
Yep.
I was like, bro.
We've got wholesome masculinity here.
Calm down. Like, it was like, hey, I think you're pretty.
You're even pretty. So then her manager's like, this isn't just some guy. This is a bomber. He's only got all these stats and somehow didn't know who he was when he was there. Again, we've already about this.
I
Yes.
have 2 comments.
Yep.
Number 1, just more complaining. I just wrote more complaining. I ranted to myself about the time I saw Carlos Boozer from the Bulls in person. I recognized him right away. I've probably watched 2 hours maximum of Bulls basketball. I almost said football. That's how little I watch it. And I knew him. And he was 3rd most important Bull at that time. Bull? That was weird.
Only the 3rd most important Bull.
Well, maybe he was 2nd. That's how little I know. It was
Right.
the Derrick Rose days.
Derrick Rose was definitely the number 1.
And then it was Joakim Noah, and then there was Carlos Boozer. Again, little
Nothing but net.
little drip drops of info,
Yeah.
and I knew who that was.
Yep.
Sorry. Anyway,
No, I get it.
Very
I get it.
upset. Also, I really enjoy whenever they have lunch. It's very in public, and I don't think Taylor Swift can have public lunch.
I said they could not have a normal meal at a
Yeah, they
restaurant.
can't have public
This
lunch.
is crazy.
Actually,
Public lunch.
there's a moment when the manager squeals because she's excited, and there's actually one of the extras behind them, like, looks over his shoulder, like, what is this woman making noise?
Like,
What is that? And I'm like, this isn't real.
Nothing's true. We hear that her type gets dubbed as pretentious actors and indie rockers.
True.
Not false.
Not fun.
And she's like, please just go out with him so that I can meet his family. She's like, let's go to a game so I can sit in the box. And because she was like, you go to tons of Bombers games. And she's like, but I don't get to be with the family. And the family is supposedly amazing. And I want to meet them. And she's like, you let me meet them. And maybe you get to play halftime at the big game. They don't say the Super Bowl. Maybe they're not allowed. And she makes it very clear that she doesn't want to get the halftime show if she has to date a football guy to do it.
She's very cool about it.
Yeah, she was. And again, we're seeing that, like, the things that she wants to do to further her career are not, they don't involve using other people. Like, she wants more, but she's like, I'm not going to just date this guy to play. She's like, they better want me, but me.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, okay, he is cute. Set it up. And then she says, let the games begin. That is a lyric in the song Ready For It on the Reputation album.
All right.
Baby, let the games begin. Now we are at a tea party with Eileen and Drew. And he had gotten a note from Mira that said, this is Mira, Bowyn's calling you.
Yep.
Don't ignore any unknown numbers. So we find out for the past 3 days he's been answering every spam call he's gotten.
That's so funny.
And it's him like on the phone being like, no, I do not need to talk about my car's extended warranty.
Yeah,
and he
it's amazing.
And then he gets another call and he's like, you're scamming people, stop. But he does make a joke that he's found a great place to get his car detailed. And so his niece also like scoots a cup over to him to have him spill the tea.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's precious.
She's
the niece is precious.
Surprisingly good for a kid
child
actor too.
Yep.
Yeah. And so his phone rings again. She's like, give it to me. And she says, I'm sorry, Uncle Gonzo can't come to the phone right now. He's dead.
That is from that one song that she does that was very popular, and I know.
Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Yes, correct.
There we go. I knew it.
There you go.
I knew it.
And she's like, he died. I just talked to him 3 days ago or something. Or what? I don't even know. She's like, he was just at my concert. She's like, oh my God, it's her. And she basically is like, don't screw this up. And I don't know how a phone call became a FaceTime.
She moved it to FaceTime.
But I don't think you can just do that.
On Androids.
Well, maybe you can do it on iPhones too. I've never done that.
Yeah,
Half the time I am not camera ready.
No.
So they're both very nervous.
Oh, gosh.
Giggling like school children.
Yep.
And she says, never a cheerleader type, more of a bleacher girl.
That's a Taylor Swift reference. I'm on the... She wears short.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. It's You Belong With Me off of the Fearless album.
Yeah.
Another big hit. They're flirting hard. Yeah. She's like, hey, let's go on a date.
I just cringed my whole way through it because I'm a child.
I have a note specifically for you later on. So she's like, hey, let's go on a date this Friday. I'll send a car for you at practice. He's like, what are we going to do? And she goes, oh, normal stuff, dinner and a movie. Because they've been joking about how she's not normal.
She's not normal. She's not.
And his niece opens the door and goes, don't screw this up. And I'm like, Eileen. So post-practice, and there is a car there to pick him up with a bag that says, change into this.
Oh, did it say something on it? What's really funny is I missed it saying anything
like, put me
on it.
Or something.
Because all I saw, I guess I blinked, and all I saw was him look at the bag and then pick it up and start going through it. And I went, rude. I was like, why is he just going?
I think the note was inside.
Okay.
I think he
unzipped
it
really
and it
weird
said,
to me.
put me on.
He was like, instinctually, I will go through this bag that doesn't look like it's for me.
I feel like he's the only one in the car.
Well, I thought she was going to be getting in the car.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
So they pull into an airplane hangar and he is dressed as Santa.
Yeah.
But based on everything else that happens, this definitely felt unnecessary. She could have just ushered, and I don't know if it was just...
I've contemplated.
I don't have a reason.
I thought of a reason.
Okay.
Because I was like, she's not dressed up.
No.
I think it was to get him through like security checkpoints or something like that. But I was like, the car probably has tinted windows. Why would he need to do that?
Yep.
So you can see I tried getting there.
So they're going to hang out in her private jet, but they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're
just
having a celebrity date on a jet.
They are. They're just having dinner and drinks, and they're talking about family. She says she's an only child. Not lore accurate. Taylor Swift has a brother named Austin. She says, I'm a tough kid. That is I put the wrong song. Hang me by my thumbs. It's I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
Oh.
I'm a real tough kid.
There you go.
And they actually reference that song again. She says she is not close to her mom. This is not lore accurate.
I didn't
Taylor
think
Swift
it was.
and her parents are tight. Her dad's her manager. Her mom's like one of her best friends. And I think like some of this is just... They needed to juxtapose like how good his family was, so it wouldn't make sense if her family was also perfect. That's what I think.
Thank you.
For the movie plot.
So I had made an assumption that by the end of this movie, she was going to make up with her mother or something, because they were like, she's like, no, I'm not close with my mom. I was like, oh, I'm really excited for her mom to like come up and then them have reconcilement, and no.
No, I would have liked that.
Yep.
And he says to her, you look like you're having the time of your life. I can do it with a broken heart. And then she says, I don't remember if it was ever fun, which is a lyric she says in But Daddy, I Love Him. And then moving on. No more of the glockenspiel for quite some time.
Dang.
I know, I'm sorry. I guess I could glockenspiel it up for this part as well. But he's like, well, what do you do for fun when you're not performing? Like when you're just living your life? She says puzzles bring her joy. I think this is kind of a reference to Taylor Swift and all the Easter eggs that she leaves and all the clues she makes her fans. Like, I think it's just a reference to that aspect of her personality.
I also love puzzles.
I love puzzles.
Yeah.
You know. Ariel, I don't know if we've ever told the story on the podcast. I really wanted to go to a bar one night. And
when we were living together.
When we were living together. Actually, this was before. This was at your first apartment
this is
where
when
I
you were
was
squatting.
Basically, I was squatting. Yeah. And I really wanted to go out because there had been a bar I wanted to check out, and I had gotten basically stood up, and so I never got to go. And she was like, we'll go.
Yeah.
And we'd been working on a puzzle in the apartment. And so we're like having our like little pre-bar drink, and Ariel just starts picking at the puzzle.
Oh, and we're wearing our coats.
We're wearing our coats.
We're about to work out.
We're in cute little outfits.
Yeah.
We're fully made up. And she starts picking at the puzzle. And so naturally, I start picking at the puzzle. She reveals later this was a grand master plan so that we wouldn't have to leave, because she knew I'd get sucked into the puzzle.
We never went out. We just sat there, watched IDTV, and did the puzzle in our jackets until Chelsea went, are we not going out? And I went, if you want to. And then we never went out.
And then we probably took our jackets off and took our shoes off. And so...
We like puzzles.
We love puzzles. As does Bowyn
Sykes.
I keep wanting to call her Bowen Yang, which is the actor from SNL.
Oh.
So he says, well, it's my sole purpose to show you a good time. Because again, he's apparently like a party boy who
I don't know.
Has a lot of fun.
He has some lines that are really romantic, and then some lines where I'm like, excuse my French, but get your dick off the table. Like,
so they agree to just go out, have fun, keep it a secret, and not fall in love with each other.
Oh, I gotta warn you, you're probably gonna fall in love with me. You have to pinky promise not to fall in love with me.
They kiss quite early.
Don't get me started on how quickly they start lip locking. I was like...
To me, that feels more realistic than only kissing once and getting married.
Okay, but nobody gets... Very rarely do they get married right away.
You're right.
But I'm just like... I felt like when they started slow kissing, this wasn't even just like, love you. It was like slow kissing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're setting a tone. This is a tone setting.
Yeah.
That this is going to be a little spicy.
Yes.
A little hot.
A little hot and heavy.
So, you know, not my kind of movie at all. Keep going.
Oh, you're welcome. That's what my notes for you. Soon?
Yep, it'll be soon if it's exactly where I think it is.
So now they're at lunch. Mira's like, you're glowing. By they, I mean Bowen and Drew. Or Bowen and Mira, yeah.
Really quickly.
Yep.
Speaking of the not sexy things that he says, he said one thing and I went, girl, dump him, just walk away. They're cuddling when they watch the movie.
Ending?
Yes. They're cuddling when they watch the movie. And he's like, I feel like I'm in a movie. And she's like, oh, does it have a happy ending? And he's like, yeah, mine has a happy ending. And I would get off the plane. Get off the plane. You guys are going to start going at it and you need to save it. Save it.
Yes. And he's like, oh, actually, this is important too. As she's like walking him out, she's like, sorry again for all the, rigmarole, but
being on a plane.
I want my private life to be private. I feel like I don't get to be normal anywhere. And he's like, that's really fine, but if I'm gonna make you a home cooked meal, can I tell my mom, because I need her lasagna recipe?
So cute. See, he's so normal, dude.
So normal.
Like, he's just such a normal guy.
Yeah. Yes. she says, you can tell your mom, but only because I like lasagna. They're like, their banter is quite good.
It is. I thought they had good chemistry.
And so now we're at lunch with Mira and Bowyn, and Mira's like, you're glowing. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, oh, it's actually just this moisturizer Drew gave me. So again, a reference to the skincare routine.
She says, you're glowing. And I wrote, that's because she's pregnant. Because of their time on the plane. I verbatim wrote it.
Bowyn likes him. I gave that 3 exclamation points in my notes. And then we meet Hudson. I have no glockenspiel for this. I don't think it's a reference to anything.
I do.
What?
I think it's a reference to
Hudson University on SVU? Okay.
No. Oh, no, Hudson isn't. But I think his character is a reference to one of her exes. And I picked out which ex it is.
Tell me.
I have to get their names.
I lean Joe Alwyn. Or like
yes, it is because he's written, they talk about it that he won't pose with her on a red carpet, and then they put in the thing that I found my own reference. Thank you. I did it. It's about Joe Alwyn not going on the red carpet with her.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. His name specifically I didn't think was a reference to anything, because there are some names in here.
That's true.
We're not there yet, but the names of the sports news commentators are references.
Oh, that's funny. Did I take a ding away from you because I...
No.
Oh, good, I got my own
but
ding.
There's going to be another ding about Hudson later. So he invites her to his movie premiere, and Mira is like, now that he needs your shine to succeed, he wants it, but like he didn't want it before. Wouldn't pose with you on the red carpet, wouldn't go to your things, 1,000%.
Who on earth wouldn't pose with Taylor Swift?
Gotta be out of your mind.
It makes, in this day and age, like how long ago did they date?
So her and Joe dated for 6 years.
Lord almighty.
I know.
Girl, dump him.
Well, she's with Travis now, so
no,
she did.
No, I know that, but...
It's hard because it's all speculation.
Yeah.
And I don't dabble in speculation.
A lot,
often, maybe not. I do think...
Could have been her.
So when they started dating, it was right before Reputation, where everyone hated her because they thought
that was
Kanye West and Kim had, right? Kanye and Kim had lied and posted a fake audio.
Oh my God, that's
happen. But we're not there yet.
Wait,
sorry.
that audio was fake?
Well, so they didn't play the whole thing.
Wow.
So they only played the part where, so he had, basically what they played was her saying, yeah, you can reference me in a song, but he never told her what the lyric was. So she didn't know that there was going to be a naked sex doll of her in a bed with him, where he also says, I made that famous. I don't know, because I stopped caring about Kanye West a long time ago.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But he had a hit where I think he had like tons of like sex dolls in a bed with him. And one of them had like Taylor Swift's face. It was really gross.
It's called Famous.
That makes sense.
He has, he released a music video depicting wax figures of himself, and Taylor Swift is in it, but I'm not seeing what it is. But anyway, he's gross.
Taylor was like, I didn't know he was going to say those things when he asked me. And then Kim posted audio, which was cut. It didn't have the full thing. And also, like...
This music video is gross.
It's really gross.
Oh, that's so violating.
Yep. Thank you.
That's so violating.
A lot of people basically canceled Taylor Swift over it because they were like, she's really trying so hard to make Kanye look like the bad guy still all these years later. And she kind of just went into hiding for 3 years.
I remember when she came. I mean, that's so terrible. Yeah. I get it. It helped her, though. She got stronger.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But so that's when she met Joe. So Joe and her started dating while she was kind of a recluse. And then COVID happened.
Yep, and I remember she was...
And so they were still just like private and alone together. And sorry, homegirl loves the spotlight.
Yes.
She loves it. And that's
mood.
Okay.
It's a mood. I like it too.
Yeah, I mean, if I could be that famous, I probably would. Maybe. I don't know.
I think about it and then I'm not sure.
It's hard to conceptualize because it's never going to happen.
Well, I was thinking about that when I was watching the Beatles movies yesterday. I was like, part of me is like, yeah, I would want that because I do like Spotlight. And then part of me goes, oh my God, no, I don't want everyone paying that much attention to me
all the time.
I like being private.
You can't go to a restaurant?
Yeah. Yep. So it's definitely, I'm not totally sold.
So yes, the speculation that this is Joe Allen is probably correct because he like didn't want to be with her until he needed to. But I don't know how much cheating was involved.
Oh, did he cheat on her in the movie?
Yeah, because she was like, what about Sophia? And he goes, that didn't mean anything. And she's like, it means you're a liar.
I mean, I get it.
Oh, Sophia. It's one of the names in a song.
Really?
Yeah, it's Sophia or Marcus, or it's not a song I like particularly.
Oh, okay.
It's on the new album.
Okay.
Okay, great. But she does say that she kind of likes being in her own bubble with Drew and isn't ready to share it with the world.
Makes total sense.
Makes total sense. We're now at Rob's house. Gorgeous house.
Oh.
We've been there before, but not at the cabin yet. The cabin is its own thing.
Oh, we're talking about Rob's house with Mom in the kitchen? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cabin is a thing to itself. Yeah, but keep going.
So Drew says to his mom, like, I'm going out with Bowyn. I need your lasagna recipe. And the mom is like, oh my gosh, I've never seen you like this. You seem so happy. Like, this is so great. And he goes, no, like, this is on the down low. Like, we're just having fun. We're seeing where it goes. And you can see the mom is immediately like...
She's pissed. She's so upset.
She was like, you always do this. So maybe he is a player. You know what would have been really interesting is if the credits to this somehow had like magazines with her splashed all over them. And then magazines with like
him?
Gonzo, Playboy, Gonville spotted at the club again. Like that would have been, like it would have been interesting to juxtapose that because all we ever hear is that he's a player, but we never actually see him be a player.
And it doesn't seem, other than his very bad hitting on her lines that he throws in, otherwise he doesn't really act like one either.
No.
You know?
But like his friend George is like, you had a hard time talking to someone? And it's like,
God, he's a big goofball.
He's a goofy goof.
He's a goofy gooper, yeah. So
Mom's gonna give him the lasagna recipe. They lie to Rob, and because Rob's like, what's the secret? And they were like, oh, I want the recipe. And he's like, good luck, idiot. And now we're at Rob's cabin.
Oh my God. This is the first time I noticed he has this thick chain that he wears. I never noticed the chain, and his chain is everything to me. Yeah. Oh my God.
So he is checking the lasagna.
He's so cute about this lasagna.
Bowyn sneaks in, like, hood up, giant glasses, and like, spooks him, is like, boo. And again, I wrote, Drew is so nervous about the lasagna. And she thinks the lasagna is amazing.
Yep.
And he gets up and he's like, wow. And I'm like, you're a nerd, dude.
He's such a nerd.
You're a nerd.
I love it.
And so they talk again. She talks again about puzzles and how that's like what she loves the most in the world. And so he pulls out some puzzles. He's like, want to do one? And she's like, oh my God, yes.
Yep.
So they pull out a puzzle and they start doing the puzzle, but they're kind of making it a game, kind of flirting, kind of getting sexy with it. He asks, do you find my adoring gaze distracting? And then she puts down a piece, and at one point one of them's like, interference. The puzzle is cats. Pretty sure that's just a reference to Taylor Swift and how much she loves her cats. Like, they could have done any puzzle, but they picked a cat puzzle. The puzzle is missing its final piece.
Yep, it is.
He somehow spills wine on himself. That's never clear. He just suddenly has a wine stain.
No, he when he's walking in, he like bumps something and spills it or something
I remember seeing it when he was sitting down on the ground with her.
I had also fogged my eyes over for this sexy puzzle montage.
We're not at the part where I have a note for you yet.
Oh my God, this sexy puzzle montage, I had turned off my brain.
So he spills wine on himself.
And then we get this.
Somehow. And he's like, oh, I love this shirt. And she's like, well, you need to soak it. So he takes his shirt off.
The moment he got that stupid stain.
And he takes off his shirt, and you can just see she's like, holy Stromboli.
I mean...
She says it's a work of art, and this is when he says, none of your famous little boyfriends worked out, huh? And I just wrote, drag him, Drew. And she starts to kind of fondle him.
She asks if she can touch it.
Which, again, consent. Consent is sexy.
He's
like, of course.
I start just like, I was like,
30-year-olds sometimes have sex when they're dating.
I don't need to watch it though. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't need to watch it.
But we don't.
I don't need to watch
So-
Can I Touch Your Ab moments.
I did. I needed it.
I knew. I was like, we're going to be in opposing teams.
Yeah, we are. But so the door opens and Rob is coming in and she quickly runs out, grabs her coat and like runs out the back door and hides. And it's Rob with like a few of the teammates.
This is Rob's house.
True, but you think he would have said like, hey,
It's insane that he didn't say, can I be at your house?
Yeah.
Why did he think this was going to work?
He's like, what are you doing here? He's like, this is my house.
Yeah, I thought to myself, you had this whole date plan, which you are obviously trying to get it, and you don't think he's going to come home to his house?
It's so strange.
It was very confusing.
So then they joke that he's doing naked baking. Because he's not.
He is shirtless and cooking.
And all the teammates descend on the pie. There's a bit where Rob's like, you're hiding something from me. And he's like, no, I'm not. Me? And he goes, Mom made this pie. And he's like, you got me. And he quickly like grabs a sweater and runs outside. And she's like, are we safe? Are we safe? And he's like, yeah, we're good. And they start making out. George comes out. And George is like, hey, man. And he goes, oh, gosh, sorry, I didn't know. And then he realizes who Drew is kissing. Yeah. And he is like, oh, my God. And freaks out and is like, I can't wait to tell Cassandra. That is a title of a song on the Tortured Poets Department.
Nice.
And he's like, you can't tell anybody. And the teammate's like, fine.
He got so upset. Like, in my opinion, he looked just...
The teammate?
The teammate. He looked so palpably hurt, and I went, that's not personal. Why are you making this about you? Very handsome, but you seem stupid. Because he's like, I can't tell anyone. This is unfair. I'm like, or maybe it makes complete sense.
Maybe, like, let people date for a second.
Maybe she's Elvis of our time, and she doesn't want everyone knowing about her life.
Arguably, Taylor Swift, one of my favorite parallels to draw is when the Beatles were at their height. Oh, yeah. They were not liked by like a lot of men because it was considered music for women. Like women were at their concerts screaming, and women got made fun of
for it.
Yeah. And the Beatles kind of got looked down on, and look at it now.
That's a good point.
And so it's like historically, things women like get treated badly.
But also I will say, I do want to point out, I was watching yesterday, the mania that these women were exhibiting is like nothing I've ever seen in my entire... The only time I've seen someone irrationally cry that much, which the entire auditorium was crying this much. The only time I've seen anyone do that is me at your wedding.
I was like, who? What artist? What show? Like, ooh, I'm so excited.
I was looking at them, and I knew I was being irrational. I couldn't stop crying.
I couldn't either.
It's ugly. But I was watching these women, I went, no wonder this is like nothing. My mom's like, yeah, it's mass hysteria. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like this.
To go off on a tangent about this, which, oh my God, I get to tangent in my episode.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. When I studied abroad, we went to Liverpool and we went to the Beatles Museum because we were when are we ever going to see this again? And they had a temporary exhibit dedicated to Elvis at the Beatles Museum because Elvis was like very inspired by them. They like some parallels, but not many. But I had never really understood Elvis.
Okay.
Like I was like, his music's
fine,
good.
Yeah.
Everyone's obsessed with Fat Elvis. I know he died very sadly.
Yeah. You were young,
Child bride.
Right?
Oh my God. Did I
how
not
handsome?
have like a little, this man is beautiful. Yeah. They had him doing the hip shimmy, which I was just like,
he grew
women just like screaming. And I was like, oh, of course people thought he was from the devil at that time because look at his hips gyrating and the women losing.
I remember when that hit me too, when I didn't get it and then I suddenly got it. And I was definitely in my 20s too, because I just was like, I don't get it.
Definitely don't have it for the Beatles.
It's like how yesterday
I got it for Elvis.
So I've been a Paul McCartney.
Oh,
that was
who's
mine.
Paul?
Who's Paul? You are really not into the Beatles because I fell in love with him at a very adolescent age. Just puberty times. But yesterday, I finally understood why people think John Lennon's good looking. I did not get it, and I've watched Help more times than I can count. And yesterday I went, oh, well, hello. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm finally understanding it. I don't understand the mass hysteria, but
Right.
they're just a band with bowl cuts, but...
Bowl cuts,
I mean,
man.
the music's good. That is the best era of the Beatles. Don't fight me in the comments. It's the best era.
Don't fight her in the comments. The only other experience I have similar is when I was 14, my mom took me to see Bob Dylan.
Okay.
And at one point through his set, I asked my mom when he was going to start singing in English. Because I for sure thought he was singing in French.
We need to make reels on this content. It has nothing to do with this show, but it's great.
But she did buy me a pin set that had young Bob Dylan on it. And
did you get it?
Boy, is he hot. Yeah.
I'm going to Google
Young
him.
Bob Dylan is hot. And Timothy Chalamet playing Bob Dylan right now, hot.
Okay. I can get it. I really struggle to find Timothy Chalamet good looking.
I don't have that problem.
His shelf cheeks just... Is that a Timothy?
Dune? No, yeah. I think I did it wrong, but something like that.
I can see him being young and attractive. Bob
D?
Dylan, not Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet is young.
And attractive.
If you look at him in the right light.
All light.
All light. Except
All
for
light
what,
shines
you
on
know,
him.
I probably like him
Give
more
me the spice
with
melange. I'm sorry, please keep going.
No, I'm actually just being mean to Timothy Chalamet. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I'm trying to find out.
You can't find young Bob Dylan? Just Google young Bob Dylan.
No. I want to find out where he was from. Duluth, Minnesota. That's the end of it.
Bobby D?
Bobby D. Oh, look. Timothée Chalamet.
Yep.
He is not from Duluth, Minnesota.
No.
He's from New York.
Yes.
He has that pretentious of a name, and he's from New York. Well,
his mother's French.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I'm being rude, guys. I'm not trying to be,
Pretentious of a name. So
I'm not trying to be anything more than a little too rude for my own good.
absolutely. Speaking of George being hurt, that he has to lie.
George!
Drew kind of says this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's not fun lying to everybody in my life.
I was kind of proud of him.
Yeah.
I was kind of happy with him because he was sticking up for himself.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think I get her perspective completely.
100%.
But I was like, stand up for yourself, boy.
When you're scrutinized for every person you date,
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to tout them all out.
Yeah.
Granted, I think his parents and George could maybe keep the secret.
But I don't think
know
they're
if
friends.
Cassandra could.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I don't know if George's girlfriend could keep the secret.
I mean, Taylor Swift friended me on Facebook today, so. Taylor Swift's personal chat friended me on Facebook, you guys. I'll have Ariel put that screenshot up, too. It's so funny. I was like, do you think it's real? I jokingly, let the record show. I do not think she found me and noticed me.
She did.
Noticed me, sensei.
Noticed me, senpai.
So she agrees that she likes him way more than she thought, that like she does want to see where this could go, but she's not ready to be public. So they break up.
They do.
2 dates and they break up.
Sad times. 2 saucy dates.
2 saucy little dates. And probably a billion FaceTimes.
Oh, so many FaceTimes.
So many FaceTimes. So now she's at a rehearsal of some kind. I don't know if it's the rehearsal. They're just in an auditorium.
Yeah, I wrote rehearsal.
Where rehearsals happen for us theater kids.
Yeah.
And she is distracted and sad, and Mira's like going through her list of things she's supposed to be doing, and Mira at one point realizes she's not listening. She's just like, I've booked you a tour through Alaska where you're gonna sing and dance with the penguins or something like that.
Yeah, like dog sledding.
Yeah, you're doing a bobsled dog sledding competition. And she's like, does that sound fun?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And she says, like, it's the Drew thing, like, I'm bummed, like, I just want to be normal. And Kyle was watching this with me, and I went, neither of you are normal. And then Mira goes, neither of you are normal.
But it's true.
But it's true.
I'm like, you're not normal.
You're not a normal person.
In the nicest way possible, you're not normal.
So Mira's like, well, you coming over for Thanksgiving? And she goes, yeah, probably. And
Oh, yeah.
she's like, well, the Bombers game is going to be on because I can't go there now. And now we go to Bowyn's house, which I think is in L.A.
I don't know, but it was cute.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it is in
I
LA
think it's
because
LA,
they don't
yeah.
explain the traveling back and forth that happens.
We just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So she's watching sports commentary, and they're talking about her. The commentators are Chad and Amy. I believe Chad is a reference to people when they were really mad about Taylor Swift being at football games. She was kind of like, I don't care about the Chads and Brads that are upset about seeing my face.
Oh, yes.
Amy is a reference to Thank You, Amy, which is a song that may or may not be about Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
Because the letters that are capitalized in it spell out K-I-M.
Shut up.
And they're kind of saying, oh, Gonzo shot his shot, and she doesn't like it, and it's fine. Like, we want her to keep making music about boys. She's never going to find love. But Amy was like, I hope she never does. I like her music.
I hope she never finds true love. I wrote, Dear Lord, could you not? Like, poor celebrities.
I know.
Like, because we, normal
Heinous.
people, even they're like, mid-tier normal, but I'm like, us regular people are like, I hope they never have anything good, because I like their content. And it's like, we're awful.
We're awful people. So she calls Mira, and she's like, all right, we're going to hang out on one condition. We're at the stadium.
Yeah, they go to the stadium.
Gonzo is not playing well. He's like playing the worst game of his season. Everyone's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what? And his brother is like, what is going on? Like, what? Have you been keeping something from me? Stadium erupts. There's cheers. People are going wild. Look at the big screen, and there's Bowyn and Mira cheering in the box with her parents, or his parents, and he's like I almost called him Jason. He's like to Rob, yeah, I've been keeping something from you. And there's a Reputation remark, but I don't remember what it was. I think it's just like his reputation, her reputation. They just say the word reputation, which again, normal word, but it is.
Oh, he's got a bit of a reputation, but he has a good heart. I wondered if that was a lyric.
So I think it's just a reputation.
Okay.
They do the arrow move, and so this is Travis. That's what Travis Kelce does when he scores a touchdown. That's his move.
Oh.
And so she started to incorporate it in the show on nights when he's there.
Okay.
She'll.
Got it.
It's his move, and so, then he plays amazing. He's really turned the whole thing around, and then they come up to the box. Mira squeezes Rob's
God, that was
muscles.
so weird. Why do these women keep asking these men if they can touch it? It's weird.
Can I touch it? I don't mean it.
It's weird though because they never clarify. They say it.
I know when she says, "Can I?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And then the wife's like,
"Everyone asks.
Give her a flex." And I was like,
Ew.
I would never. I would be like, I would ask for the muscles. Like I wouldn't go it. It is very subjective.
Odd.
So then. I almost called her Mama Kelsey. Mama Gonville is like, hey, do you want to come to Thanksgiving tomorrow? And she says yes.
Yeah.
She agrees. And they're like, Mom, this is really forward. And she goes, well, she missed Thanksgiving to watch you play. The least I can do is make her turkey.
Oh.
So now we're at Rob's house.
Oh, can I just say that good old boy's suede jacket is fantastic.
I really liked most of the fashion in this movie.
She was on point.
There's an outfit she wears later, not the dress. There's just when she's casually at home that I want that shirt. Like, I want it.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched this twice, and I don't remember the exact So they're at Rob's house. She's at this point where she's like, hey, I think I'm ready to, like, go all in on this. And he says, I will give you anything you want from me.
Ooh, wee. I
wrote, I'm deceased.
Yeah.
Take me out of the oven, I'm done.
Take me out of the oven, I'm done. I wrote ooh wee, literally. I was like, oh my goodness.
So then they're at dinner and she goes, can I give a toast? Which I thought was crazy. But she just thanks them, says that they're a great family. She says, you really do have a championship team here.
Yeah, I was not enjoying myself.
Well, they hang out and they're cute. She's talking about how she never really knows if people like her for who she is. And she says that I never know if they like me for me, specifically and delicate on Reputation. She does have, he might like me for me.
It's also a popular song from the 1990s. She likes me for me.
Oh, yeah.
Not because I look like, I don't know, Jim Carrey, whatever. I can't remember all the names.
But he says, I like you for all of those things, but I also like you because you're a star.
Yes.
He's like, you being a star doesn't scare me. I think, like, you should be a star. Your voice is too powerful to be quiet. And I think that was one of the things that us Taylor Swift fans who watched her kind of just stay out of the limelight for 6 years when, like, she does love the spotlight, for her to have a partner that openly brags about her fame and, like, fully acknowledges it.
Yeah.
It's been really
good
nice.
for you guys.
It's been really nice. She deserves it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that line because I
Yeah.
felt like it was honest.
Yes.
Like it was like not trying to be like, no, I'm a good person. I was like, not that he's a bad person, but
Right.
like not doing like, see how good I am because I like you for the person you
Right.
are. I like that he was like, no, also I do like
I
you.
do
You're
like
six-
this.
Yeah.
Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I just wrote this movie as a love letter to Taylor Swift.
It is. Oh, what did I write? Oh, it was rude. It was rude wording.
Oh, no.
I said
I'm out
it.
here like,
No, I said this is one big ride on Taylor.
she's earned it. And he says all this nice stuff, and then she says, now I feel bad that I'm just with you for your fantastic body.
Yep,
Look,
and
I
she
love
did.
flirting.
I know.
I love sexy flirting.
I know.
said lots of making out. I hope Ariel is okay.
She's not. She's not okay.
And then she says, I want more.
I know. I was like, could you maybe get off his pantaloon area when
In
you're
his
saying
family
that
house?
line?
Time to go public. That's what I wrote. Okay. So now we're getting a montage.
Oh.
Bowyn and Gonzo are together. At one point, they're in bed.
I will say I wrote the alchemy between these two is off the charts.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Montage of
Who said
games
that?
and concerts. The news reporter.
Oh, thank you.
The Alchemy is a song off the Tortured Poets department that is most definitely about Travis Kelce.
Oh.
When they say he's been on a winning streak, that is a lyric in The Alchemy.
Oh.
The Alchemy is a really good song. Okay. They're at her house or his house or the cabin. They're somewhere. They're decorating a tree.
As much as I talk smack, I do have it written, I'm going to be so upset when this goes badly.
I know.
I was like, when this gets bad, I'm going to be really upset.
Yep.
I want good things for these two, even if I also want to rag on them aggressively.
Absolutely. In the locker room, girls like football now, hardy har har. They're saying it's a PR stunt. And Rob's like, I don't care about the fame as long as it doesn't distract you. And again, this is my second watch where I was like, I see what they've done with Rob. Because I admittedly didn't love him. And I feel like they made him the voice of people that, like, actively try to shit on Taylor Swift and people who like her. Like, she only writes dumb music about boys. It's all pop hits and it's, like, meaningless. When she was going to football games, everyone was so pissed. And it was like Travis Kelce didn't lose a single game. It's not like she did nothing. But people were like, he's going to suck now. And he's like, he's literally playing better than ever. Like, and he was already a really good player.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it was-
I can get that.
And so my second watch, I understood the point.
Yeah.
And I liked him more. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I actually thought the brothers were probably my two favorite actors of the whole thing. When they were, because I was explaining this to my sister. I'm like, I feel like good acting is when you don't see the actor anymore. You only see the character.
Yep.
And these two, I was like, these are the characters.
Yep.
You know, these are real people that I'm watching. So I liked their conflict too. I thought that was cool because I liked that it was like, obviously, jealousy maybe is the wrong word.
I don't think it is.
I mean, for me, it felt like when he was saying, you know, don't let the limelight distract you and things like this, I was like, oh, it feels kind of petty.
Yes.
And I liked that it was kind of petty.
Yes.
And
Same.
he wasn't just, you're great, bro, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are lots of things that they did that, while it's not lore accurate, is a better movie.
Yeah.
It'd be boring to watch a movie where Rob's like, this is my brother and I love him. You know, like, I'm like, no, we need conflict
something.
Conflict is actually interesting.
Yep, it is.
So Drew said, like, maybe I do need some of the limelight. Like, maybe I need it. Maybe that's what I was missing, was my own limelight, instead of, like, being in his brother's limelight. Everyone they think he's on the team because his brother's on it, you know, like, there's no ever thinking that Drew's good because Drew is good.
Yep.
So now they go to a red carpet event. Oh. They're at some magazine's Best Things issue.
He's a giant.
He's huge. He says, "You're the best thing at this party." Taylor Swift wrote a song called "You're Losing Me."
Okay.
That we didn't get till after her and Joe broke up.
Oh.
And it gives us a good amount, but at some point, she's in the bridge, she says, "I'm the best thing at this party."
Oh, there you go.
And it, despite the fact that I am happily married, that song is heavy on my rotation. So he is not excelling at being at the fancy event, which is a complete opposite of maybe needing the limelight.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing? And then they kind of clash over him. Like, the fun part of him is that he doesn't take things seriously, that he is, like, kind of dumb.
Oh, God, I hated that.
I hated it.
Because he's like, I'm not really having a good time. Like, someone like calls him like a meathead. He's like, I don't really care for the term meathead, you know?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not having fun. And she's like, well, that's what's so great about you. You don't take things too seriously. And I went, oh, fumble. Why did you just say that? He's like, being an idiot is kind of my thing. And leaves. I was so upset.
Yeah, and so he's like, I'll see you back at your house. He leaves. He's like, you can stay, I'm leaving.
I could not figure out why he was going back to her house until later they finally make a little reference that she lives in LA and he lives in somewhere.
Wherever the Bombers play?
Yeah, but I was like, why is he going back to her? Go home. Go home, Drew.
Yeah. Drew, run away.
It's because he's sleeping over right now. Yeah.
And
oh, no.
Hudson.
It's Hudson.
Appears with a ring light and an iPhone following him. And he says that she's the Alice to his Mad Hatter. They talk about Wonderland.
This had to be a reference.
She has a song called Wonderland.
Oh.
And she doesn't really talk. There is some Alice in Wonderland stuff like throughout her music. There's nothing this specific.
Okay.
But when she says grow up Peters, on the Tortured Poets Department, there's a song called Peter. And it's, again, argue about Maddie Healy. And it's like, you said you'd find me when you grew up, but like you didn't come back. So it's like it's a whole thing. She walks out to go find Drew, gives up very fast.
Yeah, she
knew exactly where he was going.
He's going to your house. You could have followed him, but no. But you know, Selkie Van Prague was there, and so she had to go back.
Selkie is a dress brand.
I was very confused why
that Taylor Swift is not associated with, as far as I know. But made a dress that everyone was obsessed with for the era. Like people were, she makes this like, I don't even know if it's a she, but Selkie, the company, makes this dress that's like a baby doll dress that is like very rainbow tie-dye that people really loved. It was very popular during the Eras Tour era. So I don't know if that was, there's some stuff that I just know and I don't know if I know it and I'm ascribing.
Yeah, I get it. It says... it's a Selkie dress. That's a Taylor Swift Eras Tour dress.
Yeah.
That's absolutely...
So that might be why they named her that.
100% what they're doing. Because I was like, why are you saying that name like it means anything?
Yep.
It had to be a reference. If it doesn't mean anything, it's a reference.
That's the title of the episode. So Hudson is back to annoying her. He says, what are you doing with the ball boy? And she is like, oh, I'm just with him. And I was like, why are you saying any of this?
Dude, she's like, yeah, it is a PR stunt. I am just trying to get football fans.
Clearly sounds sarcastic, in my opinion. And then she says, you suck. She gives him a much better thing than that. It's way more eloquent. But she says he's a better man. A vault track on Red Taylor's version is called Better Man. She initially wrote the song for, I want to say Lady A.
Lady A, is that an album?
No, Lady Antebellum goes by Lady
A
now.
Thank you.
Yep.
I keep forgetting that one.
Nope, that's okay.
You have reminded me at least twice.
Probably only once.
Yeah, you're right. It was probably once, and this is twice.
But I almost said it, and I was like, say Lady A. And then I just wrote, God, that dress. So she's in
the green
this
one?
Emerald, off the shoulder, kind of a plunge. Not a deep one, just a little bit of a V. The girls are girling.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Like, oh, my word. So she gets home. He's asleep on the couch. She wakes him up. And they kind of have a little heart-to-heart about how he kind of just feels dumb.
I love that she's like, I think you're great. And
like how?
Like,
and then
it was... It was weak.
It is weak. She could have given...
There was this huge pause, and then it sounds like a just regular cheesy romance where they're like, well, you're funny and beautiful, and you make me, whatever.
She does say, like, the way you play the field, you see all the moving parts, you see the big picture. Some people only see what's in front of them, which is, like, that's arguably
very nice.
True, but, like, that's only one reason, and it was just about his career.
Yeah.
Like, you have nothing else to add.
Nothing. You couldn't just give him a good old fashioned, you make me laugh, and
yeah, or
I
like,
feel normal with you, or I like
you can cook a mean lasagna.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
Could have gone any direction, and the pause.
Especially because big dumb jock, and then the one thing she references is the sport. Come on. But it does the trick. It worked.
They have
They kiss.
I wrote, "You're so great, make out." I don't know.
So now we're back at the team gym. And I don't know if this is their PR person. We don't know who this character is, but he comes in and he says, the hospital needs an MC for the fundraiser. And Rob's like, yeah, no problem. He's like, oh, well, they asked Drew.
I think Rob MCs this, like, traditionally.
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if this was a brand new event. Like, it was very unclear.
Yeah.
I think he's normally, like, when there's events that they ask them to MC.
Oh, thank you.
That would make sense. Gonville is the guy.
Quarterback.
QB.
And Drew
says, like...
He's
like, yeah, me, the more popular of the Gonville brothers, will do this. And I will say, I loved it for him.
I mean, good for him, but also I went, bro, you're not helping your relationship right now, but okay.
No, you and your brother are fighting.
He didn't make the choice I would have made, is what I'll say.
I would have said yes, and I would not have rubbed it in his face.
No.
So now we're at the cabin. She says, hey, do you want to do a taste test? This is a salad. It's not like she made anything. It's just lettuce with maybe cranberries and a poppy seed sauce. Like, I'm just making up a salad.
Maybe it's the dressing.
Maybe she made it herself, but he's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I wrote that he's a literal pillar of human.
He is. He gets a phone call. It is his agent. He is offered 5 years at double his salary for the LA Stars. And I'm arguing that this is Travis Kelce inaccurate lore. It is widely known that he could go play somewhere else for more money, and he chooses to stay in Kansas City.
Oh, look at him go.
And isn't paid much. It's like $14 million.
He's a football player, so
who cares? But I just want to point that out.
Okay.
In his Wall Street Journal article, which is very well done, it is clear how much he loves Kansas City. So him even thinking about leaving was surprising.
So does Taylor, how do they live?
She either bought a place in KC or she just lives at his place when she's there.
Got it.
Which,
all right.
I'm sure it's huge.
I mean, it's probably very nice.
And he is basically like, I'd be in LA, like we would see each other every day. And she's kind of freaking out. And she says like, hey, maybe you think about this. Like, don't take it right away. And he's like, but this is like, I'm finally going to get paid what I'm worth. Like, people see me. And she basically is like, don't be so hasty.
I kind of liked the role reversal in this, that he's doing what usually like they portray women doing.
Yes.
Of being like, oh, I'll move wherever you are.
Yep.
And I'm so excited we can be together. And she's like, relationships freak me out.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we go cut to her house. This is where she's wearing this like gorgeous red long sleeve top with like these bell sleeves. And then it goes like a little V. It was so good. She looked amazing. But she's freaking out. And Mira says, you need to calm down.
You need to calm down.
You're being too loud. And then she also says, you know all too well. All too well. That's the name of the song. So, but Mira's like, this is a good thing. And she goes, of course, I'll curse him with every fiber of my being once he leaves the Bombers, but I want you to be happy. He's a great player. Like, I don't understand the problem here. And she's like, well, what if he's with me every day and realizes that, like, he doesn't like me?
Yeah, I did like this as, like, realism on she's really jaded from all the breakups she's been through.
Yep. And who knows what Rob even said at this point, but I wrote, this is not accurate. Jason is so nice. That's it. But so I wrote they fight big.
Oh, he's not happy about the signing.
Yes,
actually,
you're right.
This is where I wrote that Drew is a really good actor.
Yes.
Because he was good in this fight.
I loved this fight.
It was so good.
It was so good. Yeah, so Rob is like, what's this I hear about you going to the LA Stars?
He's abandoning his team.
He's like, you're leaving your family? And I was like,
Calm
you
down.
need to calm down. And he's like, maybe I need something. Like, maybe this is like my chance. Like, why aren't you happy for me? And he says, I'm tired of following everyone else's game plan for my life. And as he walks out, he says into Rob's ear, from now on, I'm calling my own shots. And the way he said it was like...
Dude, potent.
Potent. And I will say, and never grow up, she says you can't wait to move out and call your own shots. It's like a lyric. Again, it's also a phrase.
It's also something, but
it's things people say.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
Once you're on a roll.
Well, there's also other ways. There are other ways to say things. And so if you're doing it in a way that is similar to a lyric that already exists of the artist you are trying to pay homage to, whatever. So the mom comes out to talk to Drew, and he's immediately defensive, and I didn't even blame him.
No.
It was so hard not to be on his
I was
side.
very Team Drew.
And then his mom is like also very Team Drew.
I really liked it. She was like,
so
I'm
good.
sorry that you've been in your, behind your brother all your life, and that was my fault, and I'm sorry. And I was like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, she was like, it was so much, she was like, it was easy because you had all the same friends and you had all the same interests. And she goes, but what that meant was Rob took the lead in everything. And I'm sorry. And she goes, I support whatever you want to do. What do you want? And he's like, I want Bowyn.
Hated that. So sorry, I hated that line.
I know.
He's like, I want Bowyn. I was like, think about yourself, bro. Just think about yourself. You're giving women bad thoughts on how they should think about men. Because what happens is this man's reaction tells women watching this what they should be thinking. He should not be saying, I want Bowyn. He should be saying, what's good for me? And Bowyn is part of that good.
Yeah.
I was just like eye roll.
If I want to stay with the Bombers, I could still have Bowyn. If I want to go to LA, I could still have Bowyn. Like, she could be a factor in either decision.
Exactly. And I kind of was like, oh, so this is about her. But then I was like, of course it is, because that's what this whole movie is about.
Yep.
That's all that matters. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was like we were having these good moments, and then they said that, and I went, oh, I forgot. It's all about Taylor Swift.
Well, it's also, I mean, that's in any of these movies, it always comes back to, do you want to run the family business? I just want Jack. Anyway. So he talks about having doubts and fears. It felt very Taylor-esque, but I couldn't nail down a specific song or lyric, so I let it go.
Okay.
And then he walks back in.
Oh, sweet Lord.
And his brother and his sister-in-law try not to let him hear the audio. And he's like, no, it's fine, because they're like talking shit. And then we find out leaked audio of her dissing him, which now comes back to what we discussed earlier, the Reputation era of it all.
Yes.
Where inaccurate leaked audio of Taylor Swift really messed with her life for a while. So it's just because Hudson was mic'd.
Yep.
And he leaked the audio of her calling him like a dumb jock and she was only liking football to play halftime.
Yep.
Which, again, she said it sarcastically, but you don't hear it.
No, you don't hear it on the audio.
You can't, without the rest of it or without him goading her on.
You can't hear it.
You can't. And I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, I did too. When she
knew it.
starts going, I went, dumb.
I went, shut up.
Dumb.
Shut up. So Bowyn is upset and worried that Drew won't believe her. And Mira's like, he knows you, he'll believe you. And she's like, but how'd this even happen? And she said, well, Hudson had a whole camera crew. It was an iPhone and a ring light. I didn't even know he was mic'd.
I agree with you. We
So
would have
that's the whole
probably seen
camera
that
crew.
mic. Yeah, the whole camera crew.
Now we're back at the cabin.
I just want to throw on really quickly.
Yeah.
There was a way to handle this that would have cleared up the whole thing. Now, am I okay with how they handled it? Yes, because they did something that a movie never does. I'll let you talk about that.
Okay.
What she could have done was go on television or on social media and publicly said, this isn't real.
Yeah.
She did not.
No,
and
she just
I
went to
thought
him.
That was a fumble.
I was like, hey, you actually have a platform you could use.
Like, you could set the entire record straight instead of just...
Yeah.
Okay, but she does, like you said,
She goes to Drew.
him, and they never let them talk about an issue. So I was pleased that we at least talked about an issue, and then, yeah.
And I almost wonder if he would have been pissed if, like, oh, you went and told everybody except me.
No, I don't think he would have.
I don't think either, but, like, I wonder
I don't
if,
think
you know.
Drew, Gonzo, Gorgonzola, like, I don't think he'd care.
But so he doesn't believe her, and he again tosses out this was supposed to be fun, and it's not fun anymore.
The boy just wants to have fun.
No, I know. And he says, I'm fine right where I am. Like, I don't need you. Which I thought could be right where you left me reference, but again, that's an iffy one. And she leaves defeated.
And the puzzle is on the counter?
Absolutely.
Why is the puzzle on the counter?
We need to see that missing piece.
These are the questions.
Hospital fundraiser rehearsal. She sits on the stage, plays her acoustic guitar, looking sad, and is writing a new song.
There we go. I didn't listen.
Well, you only get a little bit of it. Now we're at Rob's house. Hudson's assistant quitted. Hudson's assistant quit and leaked the full audio.
Yes.
And we hear her defend him, say he's a better man, that she's the best boyfriend he's ever had, like all the nice things that she said. And where she's like, F you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get jingled a lot this episode.
You have about
sorry.
5 jingles under your belt.
Oh, boy.
At least 4.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
I said.
Oh, I thought you were gonna swear. Just I have one. So he says she's out of my league. He decides to stay broken up.
Dude, don't even. He's like, but it's never gonna work out. I'm like,
it was working actually.
That seems like a weird pivot, but okay.
We're crazy. So I wrote, Rob's going to be nice now.
Yep.
His niece gives him a bracelet. Even in the darkest times, you gotta shine bright.
Shine.
Shine bright. Shine.
I know that this is a thingy. You're wearing the bracelets. I know that it's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But like, she gives him this bracelet, and I was like, gibberish. What on earth?
No, I actually do not love song abbreviation bracelets. None of mine are abbreviated. I only wear ones that I can know understand. The only abbreviated one that I know off the top of my head at this point is "You're on your own, kid," because it's like yo-yoke or something.
Oh.
Like it's
an easy one.
It's very clear. So he takes the bracelet, heads out to the game, the big game. We're back at the Christmas fundraiser practice. We're in the final stretch. Sorry, guys, this is a long one. The game is on.
Wow.
And so the game's on, and her assistant's like, "Is this okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to see it." Especially now that she knows that like she's kind of been vindicated, so she's a little less upset, but like she knows maybe it's over. They say that he's wearing the bracelet. They're like, maybe something. And then they also somehow trash talk her.
They say that he's also he has not signed.
Yeah, but they say something
mean about her?
Mean about her because she says, "Why they gotta be so mean?" Which is a reference to Mean, the song that's mentioned earlier. Why you gotta be so mean?
I knew that had to be a lyric.
And so she's like, "I think I'll be okay seeing him tomorrow." And they're like, "Well, Rob's actually taking his place as the MC." Again, I want to be clear, an MC moderates an entire event, not just one intro. So they used this wrong. And I wrote, I love the relationship with Mira.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, we're at the fundraiser for Real. They invite Rob up to announce Bowyn. He gives a speech about how...
Also, Drew resigned from the Bombers. Oh, no, he didn't resign.
He resigned.
He resigned.
Yes.
That's why I wrote...
He resigned, yep.
He resigned so she's
with
like,
the Bombers.
Even though he's wearing the bracelet, he doesn't care about me because he resigned with the Bombers.
Well, she wanted him to stay with the Bombers.
Oh, but I thought she was disappointed in that.
I don't
feel like
think
that was
so.
part of like the... Oh, maybe
I think
they
it was
were
just them being like, he resigned,
so
the
mean
bracelet
it's
must not mean anything.
There we
Sorry,
go.
Bowyn, you still can't. That's what they said. Like, you still can't hang on to them or something.
Rude.
So rude. So gives a speech about how great she is and how everyone knows her as like this pop star, but like he got to know her as a person and she's as wonderful as they think. And he was like, plus football ratings and like Bombers merch has never been higher, which I thought was a good way to make him less corny in that moment. Because if he had just been sweet, I would have been like, what are we doing?
Nope.
So she comes out and sings her brand new song. She's like, I hope it's okay, I wrote a new song. And she sings this song about how her love is a gift that she's giving this year for Christmas. And then she ends it with like, there's always speculation about who my songs are about, but this one is about Drew. Drew, if you're watching a live stream anywhere, I didn't keep my promise. I did fall in love with you. And if you give me another chance, I won't fumble again. Oh my God. Football.
Jeez Louise. Drew
shows up. He's there. He also loves her. He said, "Do you pinky promise?"
And then they ridiculous
make out in front of everybody.
God,
and I wrote, "Are these wedding vows?" And then she says, "Let's freaking go," which they say earlier.
Is that a thing?
I wrote, "Is that an Easter egg?"
Let's
I don't know.
freaking go a thing? Okay.
I don't know. So now everyone's in matching Christmas pajamas, and she's like, "I know I said my love was a gift, but I got you something else." Yes.
I wrote in all caps, "Merry Christmas to the makeout couple."
So
Just being them.
she gives him a present. She framed their puzzle,
Yep.
missing its piece.
This is so cute, but keep going.
He pulls out a little box. It's the missing piece. And she just puts it right in. So I was like, oh, there's no glass on the frame. Nothing's glued in. Like, what are we? What? But I also wrote, why am I so emotional?
Okay.
But I wrote, why was the framed puzzle able to be completed?
Okay, when she gave her the puzzle, I was like, oh, that's great. And then he gave her the piece. I was like, that's great. I was really into it. And then they take the piece and they put it in
I would have been like, damn, I would take this whole thing apart.
I thought he was just putting it against the glass. Like they were just taking the puzzle piece and putting it on the glass. And I went, what is happening? And then I'm like, why didn't you frame it with glass on top? Did you just stick it on?
Did they have like a little sticky piece just waiting for the day that they find it? Like what? Maybe one day we'll have a dot of glue. So then Eileen yells, touchdown! And the movie ends.
Did you hit your computer?
I did. Glockenspiel.
Glockenspiel.
Dumb and cute. What do we rate this thing?
Why do we rate this thing?
Where do you want to start?
Acting?
I gave it an 8.
Okay. I gave it a 7.
Okay.
Wow, we don't really have much. It's not, okay, honestly, they're not bad actors.
No.
I didn't like Mira.
That's fair.
But she didn't do it for me, so I don't know. I've also been really throwing around high ratings lately, and I've been feeling a little much.
No, I was the same. I initially had rated it a 9, and then I felt like that felt too high. Like no one was bad, but I also didn't think
like,
anyone.
should I give them a 0.5 on the 7?
I didn't think everyone. Like I also, you know how sometimes like, well, they were just fine. No one was also just fine. There was no one who was like, whoa, you're the best actor I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But no one was a bad actor.
Agreed. That's why I'm like,
So
should I do a 7.5? Just
You can do whatever you
because
want.
you literally say that to me every time. I know I can do whatever I want.
You can have whatever you like.
Do it. Do 0.5.
All right. Cheer.
Cheer. 6 question mark?
I said 7.5, and the 0.5 was because I felt bad. I was really gonna do a 7.
Yeah, there was caroling, and there at one point I wrote in my notes, are we enjoying that this isn't a Christmas movie?
Well, they do decorate the tree.
Yes.
He does dress as Santa. All her songs are Christmas songs except the one, the Shine Bright.
Yeah.
To me, celebrating Thanksgiving is like that's cheer and it.
That's not
Oh,
cheer.
you're right. But they do Christmas with the matching pajamas. They open the gifts.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I was.
7 is okay.
But it definitely there's no way it's
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay. Plot.
I put an 8 question mark.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah. So this is what I call a potato chip movie. I had got this name when I started reading Cozy Mysteries. They're potato chip books. And that means you eat them, yeah, they're tasty. That's cool. You know, it's not going to do anything major. You're not going to walk away feeling like, wow, I'm really full and content.
Right.
But, it was potato chips. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of felt about this movie. Like, I walked away and I was really thinking about the plot. I was like, this movie was stupid. And I'm like, but Ariel, was it really stupid? And I'm like, actually, no, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, it's an interesting premise for a story. It just doesn't, it lacks depth. There's no meat to it. It's kind of like, let's fall in love, let's break up, let's get back together. Cool. But I didn't think it wasn't a hearty meal. It was just like an enjoyable made-for-TV movie.
I left pretty satiated.
But I think you have the benefit of Taylor Swift matters.
I know.
For me, I was like, I don't care about that element, so it didn't bring me in any further.
But even then, the conflict they gave us with the brothers, that added layer that the only thing keeping them apart isn't just like, I'm a celebrity and you're a, like,
Yes.
I actually really enjoyed that they gave Drew like multiple things.
But they also didn't give Drew any backstory to enforce any of his choices. They had actors do things that were a little stupid, like she doesn't recognize a football player whose credits she knows. He gets very, very offended, even though he is also a famous George is also a famous person. Like, they just had a few things where I was like, meh, I thought it was good, and I gave it an 8. That's a pretty high score, you know?
Yep.
Oh, God, your romance is going to be like a 10 or something.
It is a 10. It's absolutely a 10.
I gave it an 8.
That's fine.
But that's also because I'm not sitting here like, they weren't playing to a viewer like me. They weren't playing to me and Ethel sitting on the couch just wanting to watch something nice on a Sunday.
This is a very big disparity between our scores. This is like the biggest one I've ever seen. I'm an 8.5.
Okay.
You're a 7.625.
Okay. A whole point. Kind of, almost a whole point away from each other. If I had kept that 7 regular, yes, it would have been a whole point away from each other.
So that makes this an this is such a stupid number, 8.0625.
I mean, that's still a very highly rated movie.
And I know some of that was me
getting excited,
padding the scores. I don't know. I would say I didn't. Initially, I was going to rate Cheer higher, and then I really had to think about it, and I was like, he dressed as Santa for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually not Cheer.
But this movie did pretty well for this season. Not gonna lie. It's in the top 5.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I do not know if this is going to be able to hold its spot.
Because of Hot Frosty?
Because of Hot Frosty. That doesn't make any sense.
What
I
movie?
have that Never Been Christ has an 8.0625. This has the same score as Never Been Christ.
No. I mean,
I
kind of might believe that.
I could believe that. I got it confused in my brain with Catch Me If You Claus for a second. But Never Been Christ, yeah. I had some issues with Never Been Christ.
I just thought it was too high of a score for Never Been Christ.
Oh my God, I love you.
Okay, hold on. Except I gave it an 8.875.
You gave Never Been Christ an 8.87. You were enamored in the beginning.
I need to get a lobotomy.
Chelsea, can I give you a congratulations?
Yeah.
For your incessant complaining that you don't have long episodes. This is going to be a 2-hour
I know, because I finally got to talk about my passions.
Like I ever stop you.
Well, the thing is, you don't ever stop me.
I do. I raise my hand all the time.
You are correct. They have the same score. And more distressing is I gave Never Been Christ a higher score than I gave this. But Never Been Christ had a lot more cheer.
It did have a lot more cheer.
I gave cheer a 9.
Yep.
Even though you gave it a 6.5 for Never Been Christ. Oh no. Did I pad those too?
I gave it a 6.5. Oh my God.
Oh no.
You gave it a 9 and stuck with it?
Yeah.
I'm going to rewatch that episode just to watch you.
I'm
goodness.
ashamed. I'm ashamed. Well, take it away, Erin.
I'm trying to think of something clever to say. You know how I like to be clever, but I really don't have anything.
You should say it.
Okay, I got it.
And you could keep that in or cut it.
I'm gonna cut what you just said. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to
put it in at the end.
I'm gonna put a little bell over your mouth and cut out the sound of what you said. So I'm ready to go. Okay. I've got it. Thank you guys for listening and watching, because we're on YouTube now. I keep forgetting. No, I don't forget. I edit this thing every day of my life. I'll never forget. But thank you all for participating. We hope you had a really good time. And I just want you all to know that no matter where you are, no matter what day it is, no matter what time it is, no matter what the weather is, fumbled, we hope you have a very merry Swiftmas. That was rough.
That was a long episode.
Sorry.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.